guys! So today in Makeup History we are going over the era that I was dreading the most in this entire series, except for maybe the 30s. It's the 1980s. So this is the first era that I actually have a true picture of, because obviously this is what I see in photos of my parents from this time, and I always used to laugh really hard at it as a kid. I thought it looked absolutely ridiculous, sorry. The 80s style is just so completely outrageous and so different from everything that we do now and that was done before. Honestly, I can't say what happened. I don't think anyone knows what happened, but for some reason after the 70s, which was a pretty toned down and natural era, people switched around 180 degrees and decided to go all out with everything. Makeup became available in all the colors that you can imagine, all the finishes, the crazier the better. Essentially everything was worn at the same time, so heavy eyes, heavy lips, heavy blush, all the colors. It was like women were painting on a new face. And not just women, men were doing this as well. Because I think the 80s are the best example of kind of a gender blur where everything was kind of vague. So of course, again, there were several kind of big streams of makeup in the 80s, and one was a more kind of toned down version, one was all crazy, all out, then you had all the subcultures coming up. Of course, punk was still around, and new gothic movements came up. Everything was possible. It must have been so much fun to live in the 80s and be able to play with makeup and literally wear anything. 80s makeup was all about the contrast. Usually women would apply foundation that was a little bit lighter than their own skin. We're back to the pale skin trend for some reason after the heavy baked skin of the 70s. I'll contrast that with black eyeliner, bright lips, preferably wear contrasting colors on the eye, so you know, blue and orange or green and purple, just the most clashing colors that there are. There were no boundaries as to where eyeshadow goes, it just goes everywhere in the general eye area. Same goes for blush. Blending wasn't really something that was done, it was just makeup was applied very noticeably and in just pretty straight lines, and overall it was just madness. So the biggest influences on the makeup world in this era were rock stars, movie stars, just people in the media in general, and they would really go all out with their makeup. So yeah, for my look today I decided to keep it pretty toned down as far as that's possible in the 80s. So I went for a brown eyeshadow instead of the kind of iconic electric blue. I'm going for kind of more of like a Madonna look. Yeah, I went for a brown eyeshadow, nice big wing. Obviously the thick eyebrows. Thick eyebrows were the thing in the 80s. Just let everything grow wild and free. Eyebrow pride. Lots of eyeliner, of course, stripy blush and bright lipstick. So I think I'm just gonna jump straight into the tutorial. So to start, I'm going to apply my foundation, and I'm just using a foundation that is pretty much my own skin color because I am pretty pale to begin with. And blend that in nicely. Don't be afraid to apply a thick layer, doesn't matter, you can see that there's makeup. And when that's on, I'm going over my dark circles with some concealer just to wipe them out completely. And then powder everything off really well with my pressed powder. So next I'm going to take this shimmery brown pigment, and that is going to go all over my eyelid from my lash line all the way up to my eyebrow, and then I'm going to wing it out until, yeah, till on top of my temples. So just make a nice big thick triangle of it. And then I'm going to drag a little bit of that underneath my eye as well. And then it's time for eyeliner. So I'm going to apply eyeliner on my top lash line, on my bottom lash line, waterline, tight line, everything. Just fill it all in with black. And then it's time for the eyebrows, and I'm going big on the eyebrows. So I'm gonna load up my brush with my eyebrow color, just some eyeshadow, and I'm going to fill my eyebrows in really thick. Okay, moving on to the cheeks. So I'm going to take this pink blush, and that is just going right underneath my cheekbone, so in the hollows of my cheeks, and just in a stripe. I'm not even gonna bother blending it out, just stripe it down. And then I am going to blend up a little bit towards my temple, making sure not to blend out my eyeshadow. Okay, so when that is done, it's time for lipstick, and I'm going for this bright fuchsia pink color with a little bit of a frost, because hey, why not? That's going all over my lips. And that is your 80s look done. Yeah, this is an era that I don't really mind this over. It's really not my style. Next week is the 90s and I'm really excited for the 90s. I can actually remember the 90s because I was born back then. That's gonna be the one and only era that I actually lived in. So and 90s are also going to be the last episode in makeup history. So I want to thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next week. Bye!